Hey there. I'm about to do this podcast, which you are all watching, and I realize some people don't know who I am or where I came from. Some of the stories I'm going to be talking about might be vital to know where I come from. So I'll give you just a little bit background on me in a really quick way. So I was born in Chicago, born and raised in Chicago, West Side Chicago. So I talk funny, always have. Came down to the South and found out that you can't say "use guys" and end your sentences with prepositions like "hey, where you at?" And have softened up quite a bit and learned some grammar. So it's not always traceable that I'm from Chicago, but I still have that accent. I can't get rid of it. I was raised in an Italian neighborhood, mostly Italian. It was European, but my dad was Italian, my mom German. Was really raised in an Italian culture. Had a ton of aunts and uncles and some cousins, and had 6 brothers and sisters. 3 brothers for 10 years. It was just me and my brothers, and then later on, 10 years later, after I was 10, almost 11, my mom had 2 girls later on. So I have sisters. So there's 3 girls, 3 boys. My dad was a garbage man. Okay, that's a sanitation worker today. Things have changed, but I might just revert back to where I came from. And he worked for the city of Chicago, and he also was much of an entrepreneur. So he always had a job or two on the side, or a company that he was running. And he started Bionic Auto Parts, which is a auto record shop, or junkyard as we used to call it, and in Chicago, and became pretty successful before he passed away. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom, or housekeeper as we say it, and she stayed and made sure that we were fed and clothed, and the house was always clean, and she was pretty amazing, very organized. I learned a lot from my mom. She was a hard woman. She didn't really know how to hug and kiss and say I love you, but I tell you what, I learned a lot from her, and I loved her, and she passed away a couple of years ago, and I look forward to seeing her in heaven when I get to go there too. And I learned a lot, and as we go along, some of the challenges that she gave me have become my greatest piece of wisdom. So I will be sharing that also. I went to work right out of high school. I always took some college courses part-time because I really dreamed about having a college degree. And I wanted that really bad, but it was not always possible. I didn't have anybody to pay for it. I had to work. So over the years, I accumulated any kind of credits that I could. And believe me, I got some crazy credits along the way. And eventually, I actually graduated when I was 49 years old. It was one of the best days of my life. I could still feel the utopia that I felt walking to get that diploma, because it took me, how many years? 30 years to get it? Or 25 years, something like that. I don't even know, but it took me a long time. And it's one of the things I was proud of. And then I went on to be a Dale Carnegie instructor in Sandler sales, and I got into training and coaching and public speaking, and had a blast. I lived in 7 different states. I've moved 39 times. Just moved my 39th time recently from Chicago back to Nashville to be close to my grandkids and my great-granddaughter. And I'm a mom. I have 2 sons. That's how I got the grandkids. And I my family is my pride. But I'm a Christian, and that is like forefront of everything I do. I do it for the Lord. I know that one of the things that makes God madder than anything is when you forget Him and you don't recognize that He's our Creator. So that's going to be weaved into every one of my podcasts. And anybody that wants to know more about that, please join in. I think that you'll be happy to find some things out about spiritual life that you may not find in another podcast. I look at it as a necessity that we feed that part of ourselves, and it's one of the best ways to live. So the name of my podcast is Best Life Ever, because it's really going to talk about how we go into the enemy's camp and take back what belongs to us, because that's really what's happening on this earth. It's a challenge. It's a journey. It's something you can't give up on. You just got to keep going, whatever comes your way. And I've had so many things come my way. I think you'll enjoy hearing about some of them and how I overcame the bad ones and how I rejoiced in the good ones. Let's see, I've been working, I think I said 60 years, and that's kind of my life right now. I'm an aging citizen who takes care of other aging citizens and has just a journey. I mean, I'm having fun trying to figure out what to do next every day. And yeah, that's who I am. I'm sure there's something I'm missing, but you'll find out more about me. But just so you know, just a little bit about that. And then, hopefully I'll get to hear more from you when you do your comments. Every time you listen to one of these, please make sure you did subscribe and hit like. And I hope to hear from many, many people. Have a great day.